Well, hey everybody, it's me, Mike, with Team Brothership, and I'm back after a slight delay with the next Let's Play that I'm doing, which, yeah, you can tell what that is right now. It's Earthbound, which I know is kind of a cliche game at this point. I feel like Earthbound is one of those beloved internet fixtures. You know, everybody does a Let's Play of Earthbound, but I was really struggling to come up with another game to do, so Earthbound it is. Yeah, it's not really... I was gonna do... Well, you know, it doesn't matter. We'll just get into the game. Alright, so yeah, this is what we're doing. We're doing another SNES RPG, and I'm gonna cut out of this intro before there's too many spoilers. Alright, so we're going to start our... I guess I could have done this ahead of time, but I feel like the Earthbound party creation is sort of part of the fun. Ooh, do we want plain, mint, strawberry? I feel like all of these other menu options are a little glaring. I'm just going to stick with plain. So we got to name our party first, and actually I think if we don't care, that... that gives them kind of their default names, which we'll start with. I can't imagine you're watching this without knowing anything about Earthbound. Yeah, I don't... I'll give a little bit of setup, but Earthbound is a turn-based RPG modeled after Dragon Quest, but with a much more modern take on it. So we're going to get our team set up now. I wanted to do this too. All right, so Ness is our primary protagonist. And we have to name our second character, Paula. Naming our friend. This is Jeff. This actually looks very much like my brother Paul, or at least like he did when he was a child, so you can kind of... I suppose we could have named everyone after the other folks on Team Brothership. And this final gentleman gets named the somewhat hilarious name of Pooh. They have you name your pet. Well, I don't want to give away spoilers. Let's see. King. I guess that's his default name, but that's worse. Sparky's not bad. There's a whole set... There we go, Rex. Classic dog name. There's a whole bunch of default names you can cycle through for all the characters. They come up with some wacky stuff. But I'm going to just, as I did with Final Fantasy, I'm going to stick with everybody's default name just so things make sense. Ooh, favorite homemade food. Let's see what we got. Steak. I don't eat red meat very often. It's just... Pie. I never eat pie. Pasta. Sometimes. Cake. Nope. You're gonna learn a lot about how boring I am by watching this egg. Ugh, I actually intensely dislike eggs. Bread. I do eat bread sometimes. I don't know if the fam ever does homemade bread. My grandmother used to make some sausage bread. There we go. Salmon. I eat salmon all the time because I'm healthy like that. All right, salmon it is. It's not my favorite food. What's your favorite thing? Oh boy. What options do we have here? I mean, you can put in whatever you want. This all kind of comes back in the game in a little while. I don't want to spend a ton of time in the menus because that's not necessarily the most exciting thing. But you're probably already getting a little bit of a feel for how quirky Earthbound is compared to, say, some of its contemporary games. I mean, you play this compared to... certainly something like Final Fantasy VI, my last real RPG Let's Play. But I would say, you know, compared to something like Soul Blazer or any of Enix's games, which are great, don't get me wrong, but they tend to be kind of grim affairs. A lot of the Enix's SNES games have like a high NPC body count, I feel like. Rockin'. What does that even mean? I mean, I like listening to music. If your favorite thing is a hammer, everything's going to start looking like a nail, isn't it? Well, I mean, that's hard to argue with, I suppose, love, but that seems a little vague. Gifts. That's a pretty good one. I do like me some gifts. What other options? Slime? What? No. There we go. Perfect. That's a perfect fit. So, it's going to be gaming. You'll learn what this is all about. Alright, so we can go back and correct anything if we want. Here's our core party. Ness, Paula, Jeff, Pooh. That's their default names. We've got renamed Rex. I suppose I could have renamed him Patrick after my recently parted cat. That would be a little bit morbid, I think. Favorite food, salmon. I mean, it's probably one of the foods I eat the most. I don't know if it's my most favorite. Coolest thing. See, that's a favorite thing. Coolest thing. Gaming is definitely up there with my favorite things. I don't know if it's what I would consider the coolest of things. Yeah, sure. All right, let's get into this game before we lose too many more viewers. So yeah, so Earthbound. It is a very quirky Super Nintendo, Super Famicom turn-based RPG that was notoriously ignored in the United States upon its release. There's our laying the setting. Onet, small town in Eagle Land. Thinly veiled metaphor for the United States. But yeah, Earthbound had a notoriously weird marketing campaign. It sort of tried to lean into like the 90s grossness. I mean, even if it had been marketed well, I don't think it was really positioned to sell very well at that point in gaming history. Well, here we go. I mean, that is legitimately terrifying to wake up to. All right, we're in control now. So this is Ness with crippling bedhead. And you can see this is very menu-based compared to your Final Fantasies. You have to really to interact with much of anything. Lights are on. Here's Ness's sister. I mean, yeah, if I woke up to a extremely loud thud that shook my house, I would be terrified as well. Alright, we're looting our sister's room for gear. Gives us a nice little attack boost. So yeah, this is set in modern day. We're not going to have swords and shields and axes and stuff. It's all baseball bats and other household items. There's his mom. You bet I do, lady. Makes me change. I mean, fair. I don't like ever really leaving the house in my pajamas either. Occasionally I'll put the trash out in my jammies, but I don't like to do that. Let's check on the dog here. Wow, he's a sarcastic dog. No, nothing on the phone. Alright, so we gotta go investigate the sound of that crash. So yeah, Earthbound notoriously flopped in the United States. I think it did it fairly well in Japan. It was called Mother 2. It was the sequel to an NES game. I mean, everybody knows all this stuff. So it's a meteorite that crashed. We can talk to the police. Oh man, I sure do love when the cops close roads. But then later on, it in the early years of the internet, it kind of gained a cult following, and has since become one of the more like beloved properties. Sharks are running wild in town. Oh, land sharks. That grim warning precognitive SNL skit from back in the day. It's a very honest police officer right here. Nah, it sure won't, because that's the way the game is. Yeah, so anyway, I will say I also didn't really care for this game when I first played it, which I think was because I was a child and I didn't really know how things worked. I was used to more of the Final Fantasy type RPG, which honestly I was also not particularly good at. Earthbound is definitely modeled more after the Dragon Quest type of game, which I had very minimal experience with. This fellow is a bit important later. It's an interesting fitness routine. Alright, I'm going to check out this fellow's billboard. Leer exaggerate, or perhaps liar exaggerate. Somewhat of a shifty fellow. I mean, how many meteorites you seen, buddy? Oh, and there's... you know what? No, I'm gonna say I'm not friends with this annoying kid. Alright, so the cops are here. They've got clothes. You can kind of see the meteorite there. There's like a scientist guy looking at it with the police chief. Talk to the rest of the police. Alright, so we gotta talk to this kid here. We gotta talk to Pokey. So you're getting a little bit of a feel for Pokey. He may not be the most self-aware individual. The police seem to have at least a little bit more respect and appreciation for Ness. Well, he ain't going anywhere, so that's about as close as we're going to be able to get to the meteorite, unless we're going to jump these barricades, which we are not able to do. So I guess we'll just kind of peer from here at this suspiciously glowing meteorite, then head back. So yeah, I feel like I just didn't really get this game when I first played it, and they even gave out strategy guides. The original version is also notorious for coming in a very large box because it came with a really nice strategy guide that was like very amusingly written and just kind of fun to look at. I still have it, but yeah, I got this I think for Christmas one year as a kid, and I didn't really click with it. I did beat it as a kid, but I didn't really get it. And then, you know, after the kind of second life it got on the internet, I replayed it and I was like, wow, this is... And again, after playing dozens and dozens of other role-playing games, I revisited it and I was like, wow, this is actually like really, really good. And it's become a game as an adult. You know, Final Fantasy, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, I replayed all of those a lot as a kid, but this is a game that I've replayed a lot as an adult. All right, Mom's sending us to bed. I think Ness is supposed to be 13 in this game. He's either 12 or 13. I don't think they ever actually say his age, but it's something along those lines. There's a funny sound from downstairs. She wasn't quoting Beatles lyrics. Yeah, it is a pretty annoying knock. It's this fella again. This kind of chubby, suspendered individual. Picky is his brother. He's laughing at our mom, which is kind of a jerk move. There you go. The sharks are the local gang. They're not actual land sharks like the old SNL skit. Very quickly get a good feel for how Pokey works in this game. He's kind of that kid that, like, we all knew that was, like, really irritating, but for various social reasons we got stuck dealing with him. And this is very much the Dragon Quest, but thou must. And we'll just say yes, because... Alright. Why doesn't she come with us, too? She's an adult. Alright, we're gonna put on real clothes. This is functionally where the game is starting. Do we need to talk to her again? I can't remember. Oh, she's not even here. Just run off into the night. It's probably downstairs. There she is. Sweet. So she serves as kind of our item repository, especially early on in this game. We're going to need her a lot because managing inventories is kind of janky. You don't have a lot of space, and before we start getting extra party members, there's going to be a lot of room taken up by, like, mandatory items. Good for right now, though. I think I literally only have... I've got my ATM card, so I've got my weapon and 2 food items. Jeez, Mom, that was a little rough. So we got the dog in the party. He seemed very reluctant, like I'm bossing him around like some kind of slave. And we've got this useless oaf. Yeah, Pokey does literally nothing helpful. Oh. Don't you know it, every time you're about to set out on a world-spanning adventure, the phone rings? I was never clear. So your dad is the telephones are save points, and it's always your dad that, or Ness's dad, that you're talking to. And I've never been entirely clear. All right, $30. Thanks, Dad. Well, he didn't actually save the game. Let's do that again real quick. Only 4, so we're probably going to get a level on, like, the first fight or 2. So yeah, I was never really clear on... I think when I was a kid, I thought Ness's parents were separated. Ooh, that's a dog. We'll have to fight right away. I'll get into a little bit of the battle mechanics in a minute, but yeah, it's very much the Dragon Quest style, first-person perspective. These people are all useless. he's still got more hit points. Yeah, most of the play dead. Most of the early enemies are pretty weak. Yeah, you might have given us enough to. Yeah, it should give us a level up. Nice little boost there. And we learned a healing spell. Great. Yeah, it's the same first-person perspective, turn-based, like Dragon Quest formula. There's a few little quirks that I'll talk about going forward, but I want to talk a little bit about Ness's parents first. You know, I always, I think when I was a kid, oof, that's actually a pretty hard hit early on. But we learned a healing spell, and we've got a cookie and a bread roll. Nice. The dog actually did something. Pokey will literally never do anything over the course of any battles other than cry and hide and pretend to be dead. The dog will occasionally attack. He'll usually miss and be kind of worthless, but he'll add a little bit of damage as things go. Yeah, I always kind of assumed Ness's parents were separated, because why else? You never see him in the game. He's always on the phone, and the implication is these guys are easier than the dogs. Oh, man. The implication is that, whoa, thanks, dog, took him out, is that he's at work all the time. I always interpreted it as like his parents were separated or divorced and they didn't live nearby each other. But I think it's probably more... Thanks, buddy. Oh, there he is. There's the kid we gotta find. I think it's probably more like the Japanese type thing where like... So long, dog. That's the last help we get from him for the entirety of the game. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be more that he's like kind of the Japanese thing, if he's a workaholic and he's just at the office constantly. Because I don't think Ness... I think Ness is supposed to come from a fairly stable home. He's like, you know, your good all-American boy, all-American family. So now you see Picky was actually looking for Pokey, who had run away. Now he joins us. He's actually a bit more useful than his brother. Oh, there we go. Now things are starting. Uh-oh. Spooky meteorite. There's a bug in the meteorite. It's a bug from the future. Oh, that's a bummer to know. It's quite the legend. So there's our villain, Gygus, who is also sort of the villain in the original Mother, although I'll talk about it a little bit down the road. But yeah, this Earthbound Mother 2 in Japan is kind of like a director's cut, like a ground-up remake of the original, not ground up like steak or beef, but from the ground up remake of the original Mother. There's our setup. So a bug from the future told us we're the chosen one. And that's about as good a reason as any, I think. Ness practices active listening. He's very empathetic and just an all-around good human being. So there's our quest. We've been tasked to save the world by this bug from the future, and he joined our party, which is useful because he's immensely powerful. That. So now we gotta bring these two turds home. Actually, Picky's okay. Pokey's, as you can tell, just kind of a big jerk. I love that's a little music sting that you get when somebody says something like ominous or creepy, and I really love it. I mean, I'll get into this more once we've kind of passed the exposition chunks, but this game just has such a great tone to it, and that's what I really enjoyed about it as an adult. Is it just really, you know, the graphics, the music. Uh-oh. Well, we just got attacked by this weird spaceman, the Starman Jr. That didn't take long for things to go south. But it's cool because Buzz has some great abilities and will keep us very safe. Yeah, Buzz is going to pretty much fight this battle by himself. Yeah, but Picky's trying to cast magic. That's cool. I mean, we're not dealing a ton of damage to this guy, but he's shooting fire spells at us. Oh, I mean, I'm saying spells. There's no magic. Well, there's maybe some magic in this game, but... Ow. Sorry, I have a cat next to me. He just clawed my leg. It's mostly psychic power. Yeah, so you can see Buzz. Hey, Picky's throwing some punches, too. Good job, buddy. You can tell that he's kind of going to carry this fight for us. This guy's a little bit out of our league at the moment. He took almost 120. Well, he took over 120 points of damage at this point, and he's still swinging. Yeah, everybody has psychic abilities in this game, because it's supposed to be modern day, and in the modern world, we don't have magic. We just have psychic abilities. He must be defending, because he took a lot less damage that time. Ooh. No, 11. Oh boy. Yeah, it's... you probably can lose this fight, I suppose, but it's pretty tough, too, because Buzz is just going to keep using that psychic shield and occasionally throwing an elbow in at the Starman to take him out. There we go. Come on. Alright. That's that. I'd say that's a first boss fight, but it's not. I mean, it's not even really a tutorial battle. You just kind of take this guy out. It's a story fight. Nice chunk of hit points, though. Get some more psi points added. Yeah, so for the most part, we end up fighting things that have fallen under Gygas's influence, whether they be animals or plants or people. Let's see, we gotta bring these two home, but I want to see what happens if we try to go back to our own house. I've never done this before. I've never brought them back to my house. Oh, that's funny. She heals up and she totally gives a sick burn to Pokey. Yeah, and the dog never leaves the house again because he was traumatized by our battles. I don't know if you can use Buzz Buzz to go. I don't think there's any more random encounters. Alright, well, this is Pokey's house. This grubby dirt road. There's his mom. There's his dad. Sent off to bed. It's sort of implied that he might have hit them, which is a pretty not cool thing. As you can see where Pokey gets it from. It's really kind of miraculous that Picky turned out reasonably well, because his family seemed like real scumbags. They're lying about lending Ness's parents money. Oh god, like I know people like this. Ugh, yeah, they're the ultimate like scumbag yuppies. Oh god. So she just struck our super powerful mentor. Oh, he's dying. He was just killed by a rotten yuppie woman. Those are our MacGuffins, the 8 points that we have to visit. The sanctuary locations. Gives us our first task. Sure do. It's really our insectoid Obi-Wan equivalent. Yeah, this is pretty important. Nope, I do not. Yeah, the sound stone we need. This you pretty much want to carry with you all the time, because if you do get to a sanctuary location and you don't have it, you can't claim... Well, there he goes. Sorry, Buzz Buzz. These terrible, terrible people. The minces. We'll say goodbye to our friends, quote unquote. Oh, poor Picky. This is not the last time we interact with Pokey. It is essentially the last time we interact with Picky. Just kind of feel bad for the poor kid. Now dawn arrives and our adventure begins. I'm not sure if it's going to be better, so this is going to be another long one. I know my Final Fantasy Let's Plays have among our... Oh. Interrupted again. It's the weird little camera guy. Weird old-timey camera guy. Very odd scene, but that guy shows up periodically to just take our pictures. Alright, how's my health doing? Attacked by snakes. Alright, I'm gonna go... So, as Buzz Buzz laid it out for us, we have to go to the various... sanctuary locations throughout the world, the first of which is Giant Step, which is in this town, so we got to go there. But first, I'm going to go talk to Lyre, because now I am, or Lear, whatever his name is, because I'm by myself now. Ooh, I actually got a back attack on him. So you'll notice each time the fights start, they're quasi-random encounters. In that, you know, these enemies just kind of show up in different places on the map. Crows always drop cookies, which is good. Especially early on. I mean, they'll clog up my inventory if I spend too much time fighting them, but they're nice, quick little healing boost items. But you'll notice each time we attack or we engage with an enemy, there's like a little swirl that comes out of them. The purple swirl or the blue swirl means it's like an even fight. We encountered them and they, you know, engaged head on. If you get a green swirl, that means you actually got a back attack, and you'll get an initial round where you can go after them, take a shot at them first. If you get a red spiral, which you do not want, that means they got a back attack on you, and they'll get an opening round to take a swing at you. Wow, this guy's house has seen better days. Well, I did come here, buddy. I don't know if you actually have to do this scene or not, but it's an interesting little tidbit. Kind of creepily running away as we sink below the earth. Yeah, this guy dug a crazy tunnel. Alright, he found treasure. Whoa. Giant gold Oscar man. Yeah, you can see he was all excited to hang out with you, but the lure of treasure is making him a bit standoffish. Something ominous about this, huh? Yeah. This is unfortunately not the last time we encounter that statue. So yeah, you don't want to get the red swirl because that means you got back attacked. There's some other cool stuff too. Like as you level up, once you've hit certain levels where you would technically overwhelm the enemies, you'll actually just win battles. Ooh. Of these early game enemies, the dogs are the toughest. But again, most of them just waste most of their turns. Now, the dog can deal about 6 damage, which is a little bit more than the crows. And they give 4 experience as opposed to the crows 3. Alright, let's see if we can get it. Nope. Sometimes you can get a sneak attack on enemies while you've got invincibility frames for a few seconds after you've been attacked. Just want to watch my health too so I don't accidentally die here. I'm doing fine, but we will need a little bit of experience. I usually grind levels a little bit at the beginning of the game. You don't really have to do. This is not a super hard game. I probably could have gone another round without doing that, but I would hate to take an accidental critical hit and die. That took him out. Those are the critical hits. So yeah, that's kind of cool. If you bump into enemies when you're wildly over-leveled, you'll just take them out instantly, and you don't even have to go through the fight. You just get the experience and any items, which is pretty cool. I mean, if you're still fighting people at that level, you're probably in the wrong place. And they'll actually run away, too. Like, some low-level enemies will flee when they can tell you're overpowered. Yeah, we will need to gain a little few levels before we really engage, but I'm not going to fight these stupid dogs and crows and things. The crows are annoying because they will actually steal items from you, and they're really not worth... Whoa, he came out of nowhere. They're really not worth much of any experience, so fighting them is kind of a waste of time. Where we really want to spend our time is in town, fighting enemies. There's no real, like... In general, towns are safer than, like, when you're wandering out in the fields or in caves or things. But you can still get attacked. Oh, no. That's good. That'll give us a nice boost. Not a lot of hit points, though. We learned Hypnosis, which is basically a sleep spell. I'm going to just refill my... throughout the entirety of the game, anytime you come home, you can talk to your mom. And you get a free heal. Even if you've got other party members with you, I guess they all have a sleepover. So at various points, this can be a nice, cheap way to heal up. I'll do a save here. And so the dad mentions depositing money. Enemies don't drop money in this game, but each time you defeat... All right, 65. Each time you defeat an enemy... your dad deposits money into your bank account. So there'll be times later in the game when if you've been level grinding or if you're trying to get some of the rare drops or anything, where you've been fighting for a while and you'll like go save and you talk to your dad on the phone and it'll be like, oh hey son, I deposited $650,000 into your bank account the other day. All right, so we're gonna go wander around town for a few minutes. We've been going for about 40 minutes, so we'll probably wrap it up soon. The library is a nice place to learn stuff. Let's pop in here. I'm gonna do a little bit of exploring of the hometown. Talk to the nice librarian lady. It's kind of a messed up library. I do want to borrow one. So we got a sweet town map. But first of all, I want to look at my... All right, yeah, see, so we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've got like 20 inventory slots, something 18 or 20 inventory slots, and we've already got 3 items taking that we can't really get rid of. So this is our map, which is handy. For the most part, any place that you go until really towards the end of the game, you can check the map and it will display things. I'm not gonna talk to all of these people because they basically just tell you all of the the library is like the tutorial area. There is one, I think there's a guy in here who gives you some money if you talk to him a bunch of times. This guy's important later, kind of. So, yeah, you can talk to these people to learn all about the little tips and tricks of the game, which I'm not going to do because we don't really need that. Oh, yeah, he talks about the butterflies that you can see, which are actually pretty useful. Magic butterfly. So there is magic in this game. we'll talk about those when we see them. Yep. This guy's in here for the rest of the game, having horrible indigestion. So, let's go wander over to Giant Step, which is over this way. Oh yeah, although we do want to talk to this kid though first. Alright, we want to go over here. There's a secret kids clubhouse over here. So we get a free baseball cap, which is which is a nice defense boost for the time being, which we'll need that. These are kind of like the local kids. So these are like little kids that clearly all look up to Ness. There's another dog to fight. I'm sorry, dog lovers, that I'm just hitting dogs with baseball bats. I'm sure that's not cool. Oh yeah, you see what a difference that baseball cap made. So these enemies at this point are pretty useless for us. We will be doing a bit of level gaining down in town. Yeah, after fighting enemies, you run into this guy. He does sort of look like an enemy. Nope, I'm good. Yeah, and he gives you more tips. These clownish looking men. Oops. Get out of the way, I'm stuck. Oh, they actually are clowns. The traveling entertainer's shack got locked because punks trashed it. I mean, that's accurate. Alright, so somebody from City Hall locked the way into Giant Step, so we gotta go check that out. And the arcade is full of gang members. We're gonna just root through the trash. Video game rules. Excellent. That hamburger's a good healing item. So we've got various shops here. I'm going to actually see if I can buy some gear in the drugstore. Drugstores are usually where you're going to buy things from. Yeah. As far as equipment goes, that's where you'll get a lot of it. That's a good point, which I will address later. Now he's going to give us some more tutorials. Well, he's explaining how shops work, which is useful. So yeah, if the item is stronger, it'll flash, which that's really all we care about for the most part. All right, so let's see if we can get some more gear. No, we don't need any of those. Yeah, that's what we want. And we need both of these, the T-ball bat and the cheap bracelet. Well, I don't have enough money. Sorry, buddy. But we can check our ATM. going to take all of our money and we're going to dump it into buying some equipment. Weapon is definitely the most important. We're not going to have enough to buy armor then, but that's okay. That's pretty good. And we'll just get rid of that cracked bat. So we just need a little bit more. I should probably put my money back in the ATM, because if I die while I'm fighting, I will lose half of the money that I have on me. That's how we revive, folks. Alright, so here's City Hall, or Town Hall. We gotta get somebody to open back up the shack so we can get to Giant Step. Apparently this gang issue is a real problem. Oh yeah. Oop. Well, we're getting thrown out of the mayor's office by the police. Well, you didn't really stop us, lady. That's good. I didn't want to work here. Who wants to work for a town? I may work for a town. Aw, that's sad. See, she's just erroneously linking the wholesome antics of Ness's little buddies. That's a terrible name. She's grouping the wholesome antics of Ness's buddies with the violence and vandalism of the sharks. He must be really pissed if he's just telling randos about how much he hates the mayor. Well, that guy just gave a major spoiler. Hopefully you weren't paying attention. Maybe that's why the mayor doesn't like you, buddy, because you're not doing your job. That's a bit of a personal question. Alright, well, these people are kind of useless, but the implication is clearly that that until this sharks issue is resolved, nobody's going to be doing much of anything. I wonder who this suspicious-looking man is with this large tank over there. Let's see. Well, now we just got attacked by this rando. Oh, it's one of the skateboarding ones. So these are the sharks, the gang members. It's not too bad, but they do have a fairly nasty... Yeah, that's good. With that new weapon we've got, we deal some damage to these guys. Yeah, that one hurts. But they're not too tough to take down, one at a time anyways. And they give quite a bit more experience than the rest of these clowns. Just clear out these guys. Yeah, the pogo ones are probably the easiest of the... There's 3 types of gang members that you can run into. There's the skateboard ones, the pogo ones, and hula hoop ones. But the pogo guys are probably the weakest, and the skateboards, these guys drop hamburgers sometimes. Nice. Some good healing items. We're not going to smash our way into the arcade right now, because it'll... Ooh, fruit juice. It's another healing item. Take out another one of these guys. The problem comes with sometimes they will gang up on you, hence the term gang. If there's more than one around, especially at this point. Yeesh, yeah. If we don't take him out, we'll want to heal. There sometimes will be more than one of them lying around, and that can be a problem at this level. You don't want to fight two, it's certainly not three of those guys at the same time, because they can really do a number on you. Yeah, see, we can kind of draw them off, but more than one at a time is going to be a bit of a problem. Anyway, I've been going for about an hour here. I know we haven't accomplished a lot, but we know our mission. We got to get into Giant Step, and first things first, we have to clear out... oh, that was one of those butterflies. That's actually really useful. That gives you a nice heal to your psi points. So those are pretty handy to have around. I mean, they're less relevant here when we can get a couple of these guys. Uh-oh. I definitely want to get that, buy that bracelet to get a little bit of a uh-oh. Well, anyway, before I get swamped, I'm going to end the show. All right, draw this guy off. I'm going to end the show. So thanks for joining me. We'll next episode, we'll probably shotgun through a few different parts of the game. Until then, I've been Mike with Team Brothership, and I hope you have a great week. I'll see you real soon, everybody.